Hi, I'm Ashimolowo. Welcome to the Wealth Masterclass, where we teach you to make, manage, and multiply money. Every waking day, the roads of our cities are jammed with people who are driving to work. It is almost safe to assume that close to 80% of every nation have 9 to 5 people who just wake up in the morning, rush to work, come back home, have some food, watch television, go to bed, wake up in the morning, rush to work, come back home, have some food, watch television, go to bed. The ritual continues. But then suddenly one turns 65 and he's retired. And in fact, in today's world, you are downsized, right-sized, they outsource, and so you lose your job even before you are 65. Today, we'd like to share with you on investment lessons that you should learn. Investment lessons. You see, if you don't invest, it means in effect that the money that came through your hand just went into expenses and maybe little was saved. And saving is not investing. Investing is what compounds your money. Investing is your launch pad to greatness. Investing is your way of making good the money that came into your hand. So what do? Today we're looking at certain steps in your beginning when you start to invest. And you need to. You don't have to have millions before you can invest. Number one, recognize this, that risk and returns go hand in hand. The lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. If you want your money to be safe, you can keep it in a savings account. But you get almost nothing in most economies now. The interest on the money is nothing to write home. But you've got to realize also that the higher the risk, the higher the return. And nobody wants to lose money. However, without risk, you can't gain. If you buy stocks and shares, the shares could go down. You could buy Bitcoin and it goes down, just as we have seen. In this 2001, within a short time, it went so high as $63,000 to a Bitcoin, and then boom, came back down to just over $30,000. That is a high loss of over 50%. However, the person who bought the same Bitcoin for $5,000 is still smiling that he has a $30,000 Bitcoin, because if he had kept that same $5,000 in his savings account, there wouldn't have been any much additional value. Investment is a necessity for you, for your children, for your future. Investment is a necessity for the times when your bones are tired and you have something to live on. It is bigger than just pension, which is already predictable and that you draw from. Number two, diversification is paramount in your lesson on investment. What does this mean? That is, investing in different areas so that you did not put your money in one thing. You diversify in order to grow your money. You put in real estate, you put in share stocks, you put in treasury bills to grow the money, to compound it. It was Albert Einstein who said one of the greatest mysteries of life is the mystery of compounded interest. What a truth. Thirdly, you've got to realize that investment costs, but nonetheless, you should be ready to pay the fees. Don't do it yourself. Use smart people who know how to advise you on stocks, shares. Use brokers. Use people who can advise you on real estate, because they know the patch. They've been there. They've handled the rough times and the good times. It is part of the cost, but it is also what will eventually deliver your benefit. Then, in investment, have a margin of safety. In other words, if they are selling a property for $5,000, see how you can get it. If it is worth $5,000 in the property market, see how you can get it for $4,700. So you have a margin from day one of some degree of equity, profit, not buying at the actual amount, not when it was overpriced. Because if you buy at a time when it was overpriced, if there is a crash, you will have to wait, particularly in the world of real estate, you will have to wait till forever. You have to wait for a long time. Because you see, reverse compounding can be a problem if suddenly it begins to go down. So always look for a margin that helps you and gives you some degree of cushioning while you are waiting for your investment to rise. Next truth is some degree of risk management. You need to have a risk management system in place. I bought this real estate. I'm expecting this level of rent. If the rent didn't come and I need to fix the shingles, the broken window, what do I do? So you have a risk management system in place. If anyone tells you everything will always be perfect, they lied to you. We live in a world of so many unpredictabilities. We live in a world of probabilities. So have a risk management system in place. If you put your money in stocks and shares, the company's director can do a booga and mess up things and make the shares go down. Someone can make a comment. Elon Musk made a comment about Bitcoin, and the next day it went up. Another time he came again and said, oh, the amount of power required for mining Bitcoin is too high. We will not be taking Bitcoin anymore. It went down again. You need to have a degree of a risk management system in place. Volatility, you need to realize if what you want to buy is volatile, check your own emotion. You can't control some things when the volatile seasons come. So maybe if you find that your risk tolerance for e-coins is limited, maybe not to put much money there. If your risk level for real estate is very high, maybe that's where to put your majority money. And then the remaining in other areas, stocks, shares, real estate investment trusts. But do invest. If you don't compound what is in your hand, it will remain the same. Did you know that if you took $40 and put every month in S&P 500 and you did it for 30 to 40 years, just $40 a month. In a whole year, that is $480 times 40 years doesn't sound like much. But did you know that if you went on for 40 years, because it is able to return between 10 and 14% interest in the various companies that are in the S&P, it eventually will be over $2 million. What are we saying? You took $40 on behalf of this, your son whom you gave birth to today, or your daughter. And you thought, okay, by the time I'm retiring, I want to be able to have something I'll give my son or daughter, or I'm just starting work, I'm 20 years old, and you began to put $40 there every month, $40 there every month, $40 there every month. By the time you're 60, when your pension is guaranteeing you have $1 million, that simple $40 you saved from not eating out too many times have become over $2 million because of compounded interest, because of the 10% return on S&P 500. So somebody may sit down and say, well, I don't want to do that. They missed. They didn't realize. Delayed gratification is a sign of maturity. Then you must learn to control your destiny. How do you control your destiny? No one is interested in your finance, not your employer, not even the people who are handling your pension. So you've got to protect what you have, not governments, at least not 21st century governments. I do not know of any nation right now, maybe China alone, that have not borrowed the money of generations to come. America have spent the money of 5 generations. My country of original birth have borrowed close to 40 trillion Nigerian naira. So all over the world, nations have borrowed. So they don't have the interest of your children or yourself at heart. You have to watch over yourself by controlling your destiny through investments. Then, don't take it personal. Sometimes some investment may favor, sometimes they may go down. Do not fall apart. Just realize that, look, in taking risks, some things work the way you expected, sometimes they don't. But investing and seeing the returns can really bring you a lot of joy. They never give up. Keep watching business news. Know the market trends. Know the area of your city where real estate is going up. If it is in nations where you can buy land and keep your land holding and have your documents, do so. If it's in nations where you can buy properties, particularly the ones young people want to rent, buy and rent out. The rent may bring you some degree of equity, but the biggest will be as the property rises in value. So you have two triple-edged profit from your investment. The property is rising, the rent is above the amount you are having to pay your mortgages, because you see, in investment, you need to use OPM sometimes, other people's money. Not borrowing money to buy shares, but at least borrowing money to probably buy real estate, which you know that, okay, there is an equity the borrower can use to clear out the money they loaned you. But you've got to realize, if you don't invest, you keep yourself at a limited level. Then you've got to learn to separate your social life from your investments. Do not make money because you want to buy the latest car, the biggest this, the latest designer clothes. Don't do designer clothes for everyone to see. Get yourself into investment. Create a future. Delay your gratification. If you used to drink 3 boxes of juice, change it to 1. Take 2. Take the money of 2. Put in investment. I close this by telling the story of what happened when a king in the Bible called the Pharaoh dreamt and saw 7 cows fat and 7 cows thin. And he didn't know what to do. And Joseph, the man with a coat of many colors, told him the 7 fat cows are like productive years. And the 7 thin cows are the lean years. All of us have productive years and lean years. Years when you are active and strong and the funds are flowing. And the years when there is nothing left and you will have to depend on the productive years, or you go a-begging. What do? He told them just 20% from the productive years every year, 20% from every income, every food, and stored away would take care of the lean years. That's what investment does. But even then, it takes care of more than the lean years. Breaks your family from the cycle of lack and poverty and starts a new generation of wealth. I do hope today's teaching has helped you to learn about investment. We'll continue our teaching of investment in another episode, but make sure if you have enjoyed this video, like it, invite other people to the Wealth Masterclass. God bless you.